Princess Diana and Prince Charles had a widely publicized and complex relationship that garnered global attention. Here are some interesting facts about the late Princess Diana and Prince Charles. Born Diana Frances Spencer on July 1st, 1961, she became Lady Diana Spencer when her father inherited the title of Earl Spencer in 1975. After marrying Prince Charles, she became Princess of Wales. Diana was renowned for her charity work, particularly her efforts to raise awareness about AIDS, leprosy, and homelessness. Her groundbreaking work with AIDS patients in the 1980s helped to reduce the stigma surrounding the disease. One of her most notable campaigns was against landmines. Diana famously walked through a minefield in Angola in 1997, which significantly raised global awareness of the issue. Her efforts contributed to the signing of the Ottawa Treaty, which banned the use of anti-personnel landmines. Diana was open about her struggles with bulimia, postpartum depression, and self-harm. Her honesty about her personal struggles was groundbreaking for someone in her position and helped bring more awareness to mental health issues. Diana married Prince Charles in a fairy tale wedding on July 29, 1981, at St. Paul's Cathedral. Her wedding dress, with its 25-foot-long train, became iconic. The event was watched by 750 million people worldwide. Often dubbed the People's Princess, Diana was a global fashion icon. Her fashion choices set trends, and her style evolved from demure princess attire to sophisticated, bold looks after her separation from Charles. Princess Diana tragically died in a car crash in Paris on August 31, 1997, at the age of 36. Her death led to an outpouring of grief worldwide, and over 1 million people attended her funeral in London. Heir to the throne. Born in 1948, Prince Charles is the longest-serving heir apparent in British history. He became the Prince of Wales in 1958 and has held the title for over 6 decades. Charles has long been an advocate for environmental causes, promoting sustainable agriculture, organic farming, and environmental conservation. His efforts were often seen as ahead of their time, particularly his focus on climate change and eco-friendly practices. Charles is passionate about architecture and town planning. He has been a vocal critic of modern architecture and founded the Prince's Foundation to promote traditional, sustainable architecture. Charles and Diana's relationship was tumultuous. They were 12 years apart in age and had different interests and personalities. After their marriage, tensions became public and both admitted to extramarital affairs. Their marriage officially ended in 1996, a year before Diana's death. Charles's long-standing relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles, now Queen Camilla, was a major point of contention during his marriage to Diana. Charles and Camilla had known each other since the early 1970s, and their relationship continued throughout his marriage to Diana. After Queen Elizabeth II's passing in 2022, Charles became King Charles III. His reign, despite the long wait, has been marked by continued advocacy for environmental issues and modernization of the monarchy. Princess Diana was often referred to as Sleeping Beauty in the media and by the public because her life story, particularly in the early years, seemed to resemble a fairy tale, much like the beloved story of Sleeping Beauty. Here are a few reasons why the nickname resonated with people. Diana's marriage to Prince Charles in 1981 was viewed as a fairy tale event. She was a young, beautiful and shy aristocrat who was marrying the heir to the British throne, much like the magical princesses in fairy tales. The grandeur and pomp of her wedding captivated millions, and she was often portrayed as a fairy tale princess in the media. Diana's natural beauty, grace and vulnerability evoked a sense of innocence, similar to how Sleeping Beauty is portrayed in folklore. She was often depicted as an enchanting, gentle figure with a fairy tale-like aura that the public admired. Although Diana's story began with fairy tale-like qualities, it had a tragic side that made the Sleeping Beauty comparison even more poignant. Like Sleeping Beauty, who falls into a deep sleep after being cursed, Diana's struggles with her marriage, the royal family's pressures, and her personal hardships gave her life a melancholic, tragic undertone. Her untimely death at a young age, 36, further amplified this comparison. Some saw Diana as isolated within the royal family, similar to how Sleeping Beauty was hidden away in her castle. Despite being in the public eye, Diana struggled with feelings of loneliness and emotional isolation, making the Sleeping Beauty metaphor fitting for someone seen as trapped in a world of royal duties and public expectations. The nickname Sleeping Beauty embodied both the magical and the tragic aspects of Diana's life, capturing her role as a beloved princess figure with a story that, while appearing idyllic at first, had a sad and poignant ending. Princess Diana died in a tragic car crash on August 31, 1997, in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel in Paris, France. The crash also killed her companion Dodi Fayed and the car's driver Henri Paul, who was the acting head of security at the Ritz Hotel. Her bodyguard, Trevor Rees-Jones, was the sole survivor of the crash, though he was seriously injured. On the night of August 30, 1997, Diana and Dodi Fayed were staying at the Ritz Hotel in Paris. They left the hotel late at night to avoid the paparazzi, who had been relentlessly following them. To evade photographers, their driver Henri Paul sped through the streets of Paris. At around 12:23 a.m. on August 31, their car, a Mercedes-Benz S280, crashed into a pillar in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel while traveling at high speed. The car was reportedly going over 100 kilometers per hour, 60 miles per hour, in an attempt to outrun the pursuing paparazzi. Immediate aftermath, Dodi Fayed and Henri Paul died at the scene. Princess Diana was critically injured but still alive. Emergency services arrived and took her to the Pitié-Salpêtrière hospital, where doctors attempted to save her. Despite several hours of treatment, Diana succumbed to her injuries at around 4 a.m. due to internal bleeding, particularly a tear in her pulmonary vein. Trevor Rees-Jones, her bodyguard, survived but with severe facial injuries and significant memory loss. An investigation revealed that Henri Paul, the driver, was under the influence of alcohol and prescription drugs at the time of the crash. His blood alcohol level was found to be more than 3 times the legal limit. The excessive speed at which he was driving in the tunnel also contributed to the fatal crash. The presence of paparazzi who were chasing Diana's car was a major factor in the events leading to the crash. Although none of the photographers were found legally responsible for the crash, their role in pursuing Diana and Dodi's car created the dangerous situation. Neither Diana nor Dodi were wearing seatbelts at the time of the crash, which could have potentially increased their chances of survival. Princess Diana's death shocked the world and led to an outpouring of grief. Millions of people gathered outside Kensington Palace to lay flowers and tributes in her memory. Her funeral, held on September 6, 1997, was watched by an estimated 2.5 billion people worldwide. After the crash, several conspiracy theories emerged, with some speculating that Diana's death was not an accident but a deliberate plot. These theories were fueled by statements made by Dodi Fayed's father, Mohammed Al-Fayed, and others. An official inquiry known as Operation Padje, which lasted several years, thoroughly investigated these claims and concluded that the crash was a tragic accident caused by a combination of reckless driving and the influence of alcohol. In 2008, a British inquest jury found that Princess Diana and Dodi Fayed were unlawfully killed due to the grossly negligent driving of both Henri Paul and the paparazzi chasing the vehicle. However, no foul play or conspiracy was found to be involved in her death.